We bulk order towels and we spend thousands to get tons of towels. We leverage outlets like Alibaba, and we do this for toilet paper. We do this for paper towels. We do this for shampoo, conditioner, sanitizer, whatever it is that your product or your property needs to be outfitted with. We are a wholesale distributor with management, and we're very good at both. And I think that's what's helped us stay profitable. And you can expect just a flawless white glove experience.
This is episode number 73 of the Short-Term Rental Success Stories podcast. Are you an investor that's looking to have your home professionally managed? Go to cohostit.com for more information. Welcome back to Short-Term Rental Success Stories. I'm your host, Julian Sage. This is a show where I talk to hosts about their journeys in starting and growing their short-term rental business. My goal is that you'll be able to walk away with practical information that'll help you become a better host and learn how to scale your business. Like any exceptional host, we all strive for 5-star reviews, so please go on over to iTunes and let us know what you enjoy, as it really helps support the show. If you haven't done so already, go on over to our Facebook group, The Host Nation, to connect with the community. Hey, what is going on, Host Nation? I'm super excited to be back again with you this week. So for those of you that have been following for a while now, know that John and I have a coaching program, the Vacation Rental Machine Formula. We just recently raised the price from our early bird price, and we're going to be doing some pretty interesting things with our group now. Now that we can focus in, we have some more people in our coaching program. We're really going to be working with them to be able to get them up to speed, get them some really nice, amazing results. You know, it's one thing to listen to every episode of the podcast, and I know a lot of you do binge listen to this show. I'm a binge listener of podcasts. When I find something that I really love, I just go through and I listen to everything that I can find. And that's one of the ways that I really immerse myself in, and I'm able to really quickly learn all the lingo and how to be able to just understand what that world is like. But there's one thing that ends up happening is a lot of people get stuck in analysis paralysis, where they just listen and they keep on collecting information and they don't actually do anything with it. And the other thing is that there's a lot of information out there. Even the stuff that John and I teach, we cover a lot of things, sometimes general, sometimes very specific. But to be able to have something that is literally step-by-step guiding you through, and then to have people like John and I and other people in the community be able to help and coach you on how it is that you should be building your business and actually taking a look and deep diving into your business, that's something that you really can't get if you are just consuming content. There really is a part of consuming content, but also implementing, and then that coaching aspect, that mentorship. That's how I've been able to grow. That's how so many others have been able to grow. So I'm excited to be able to help the members in our program right now really be able to enhance and grow their businesses. Of course, the program is still open if you are interested in joining our coaching program. Part of this business model that we teach, though, is about co-hosting our management. And that's one of the things that we've been actually able to scale through our business is our management aspect. So we work with investors through Co-Host, our management company, and we're actually able to help them build out these properties remotely. So investors are able to come to us and they say, hey, we'd like to acquire properties, or we'd like to grow our portfolio. And we're able to work with them either through acquiring properties or finding these investment turnkey master lease properties, and actually able to work with them and furnish them, get them fully automated, and manage the properties on their behalf. So even during COVID, during this time, we've been able to grow our management company. Just recently, we just finished building out 6 units in Miami. We're building out 1 in Pensacola, and then we're going back to Miami actually to do about 3 more. And this is really our first batch of properties doing it in this model, really working as a turnkey solution for investors. So during this process, it's a lot of learning on our end as well. We're figuring out some of these challenges, these roadblocks that we face. We don't pretend to have all the answers, and really there's new situations that come up all the time. So part of that process of being able to grow a management business is the onboarding process, how you are handling these different types of situations. What are you trying to do to be able to better optimize how you are taking on clients, how you're able to take on properties, how you're able to build out the properties? All of these different things are all processes. Even something as simple as setting up utilities and getting the right insurance is a process. So as we grow our company, it's really just refining, how can we streamline this process? How can we make things easier? How can we remove ourselves from more of the menial tasks, the things that are repetitive, and be able to outsource that, or be able to create a system that allows for you to be able to spend more time focused on growing the business as opposed to having the business running you. That's why I'm super excited for this episode, because I had the special honor of speaking with Andrew LeBaron, founder of buymoretime.com. It's a management service that charges as low as $99 a month for short-term rental management, as opposed to the revenue share model. Now, by More Time, they also do a lot of different types of management services, such as multifamily, residential, commercial. So they really do a broad spectrum of management, which is really unique because Andrew isn't just focused on short-term rentals, which is one of the offers that they do have. I think it's really important to note that Andrew's been able to find the process and the systems to be able to automate and outsource a lot of management aspects, whether that is, again, short-term rentals, multifamily, residential, commercial. In this episode, Andrew shares how he's able to keep his costs so low for his services, his unique way of automating his business, his process for streamlining client onboarding, and how he's been able to outsource nearly everything to virtual assistants. If you like my show notes for this episode, go to shorttermsage.com/STR73. Or if you like my show notes sent directly to your inbox every week, then go to shorttermsage.com/show notes. With all that being said, on to this week's conversation. Hey, welcome back, Host Nation, to another episode of Short-Term Rental Success Stories. In this episode, I have the special honor of speaking with Andrew LeBaron. Andrew, would you please introduce yourself to the Host Nation and let them know who you are and what inspired you to get into short-term rentals?
Hey, thank you, Julian. Pleasure being here. I am a Phoenix resident. Love my hot state of Arizona. I think it's like 109 outside right now. Been in real estate for about 5 years, and I purchased some rental property and realized, holy cow, we have a market here for short-term rentals. I mean, it's explosive, especially about 5 years ago. I made a million failures, have a business partner. Him and I would purchase property, we'd rent it and see a cash flow of $200-300. Suddenly we got the idea, holy cow, we could totally turn this thing up, furnish a property, deck it out, and make 2 to 3 times that income. So we definitely had to do it ourselves. We did, and lo and behold, we realized that short-term rental was for us. We loved it more than even just the regular long-term rental. We'll even try to work with friends and family to get them on short-term rental, just like we are. We leverage all platforms. From there, about 4 years ago, we decided that we wanted to build our own management company and manage their short-term rentals, our friends and family. And we just wanted to keep it small, just keep it tight. We're not really open to the public. We really wanted to get our systems down. And we just slowly added another property. So soon now we're up to 30-something property, 32 properties. We're in Arizona, Massachusetts, and Canada. I think we have a couple in Nevada opening up here soon. We decided to throw some marketing out there, and we're getting some explosive response. We're very picky about our client, but we love what we do in the short-term rental business.
Now, you've got a really interesting model with your management company. Do you kind of mind explaining how your management company differs from everybody else's?
Yeah, absolutely. So we want to put the money of the operator and or owner back into their pocket. And we do that by taking on everything virtual. Our whole business is virtual, and we charge a flat fee. We're very good at automating. We're very good at software. And we decided to use those superpowers to really cut costs on teams, on hiring extracurricular employees, on hiring additional help. We don't have to do all that because everything is so well automated. We only charge $99 a month, and we do anything from check-ins, checkouts, concierge, cleaning, maintenance, coordinating, errand running. We'll do the setup on other short-term rental platforms. We do monthly reporting, your income, your profit loss statement. We'll do amenity swap out. We'll change out your towels, your sheets, shampoo, conditioner if you have it. We'll do it all. We do a presentation audit. We'll do a cleaning audit. We just make sure everything is clean and nice. And a lot of it is really just automated. The part that's not automated is the part that can't be automated, and that's going to be your concierge. It needs to be top-notch customer service. We need to be always available, and we need to answer guest inquiries whenever we can.
Andrew, there's probably a lot of people right now that are listening and saying, Andrew, screw you. You're taking away my business. My whole business is dependent on my management percentage, 15, 10, 25, sometimes even 30%. Just depends on the property and the level of service. And then here you're coming in and saying, hey, I'm going to take away the management percentage and just do one flat fee. So there's probably some people that are really pissed off at you. And then there's some other people that are probably like, holy cannoli, other companies or other people are trying to charge me, that percentage. But if I could do that for 99, like how is that even possible? How can you even do something that, a lot of the people are managers that listen to the show. How can you charge something for only 99?
I'll definitely answer that. And here's the secret. I'm giving all the secrets away. So please, if you can hear this, replicate it and do it. Do what you like with it. We do really well with product placement. We place product in the house. If you need a new towel, which you definitely will, we'll replace the towel. No, we're not charging you $1 million per towel. Okay. If you go to Walmart, you can get a towel right now for $7. It's a Better Homes and Garden towel. It's a fluffy towel. It's really nice. Okay. You probably know the towel I'm talking about. We're not charging you that. We're going to charge you a replacement fee of that towel. We bulk order towels and we spend thousands to get tons of towels. We leverage outlets like Alibaba. Okay. And we do this for toilet paper. We do this for paper towels. We do this for shampoo, conditioner, sanitizer, whatever it is that your product or your property needs to be outfitted with. Oh, and sheets. I forgot that too. That's honestly, we are a wholesale distributor with management, and we're very good at both. And I think that's what's helped us stay profitable. In the very beginning, we weren't profitable at all, but we believed in the model so much. We haven't even spread our wings on marketing as of yet. We're kind of just really liking this size that we're at. We would like to be up to probably 90 properties in the next 6 months. We do have goals that we've set, but it's been really nice. As far as product placement, everything else goes, that's all local. For the stuff in Canada and the stuff in Massachusetts, we don't do any of the product placement. We will do a fee for replacement, but we're not going to purchase the product and ship it. We're not going to do any of that. The other thing too is, you asked how do you do it. In the beginning, we were taking a loss. We were taking a hit. And the reason why is because I just wasn't a fan of the reason why I had a short-term rental is so I could make more money. That was it. Some people like the hospitality business. They just love it. They just love connecting with guests. I don't mind it. I mean, I actually enjoy seeing people from, across the world come visit our properties, but I did it for the income. So I couldn't take that away from the owner themselves. But, we took a loss in the beginning. We automated our processes. Our onboarding is 100% automated. You enter your info. You're already in our system. We have a ton of workflows that generate PDF reports. Everything's done for you. Everything's set. And you can expect just a flawless white glove experience. We're even to the point where we have damage. We walk into a property and our cleaner fills out an electronic checklist. That's not new. Everybody does that, or I hope people do that. And if there's damage, it notifies our damage reporting staff, and our damage reporting staff immediately contacts insurance or contacts the short-term rental platform to claim those funds, whatever needs to be claimed, whatever damage was made. We try to work it out with the guest, but it doesn't always work that way. We don't run into that a lot, but we've just, over the years, have gotten really good at product placement, at automation. I think that's why we can last at such a small fee per month.
So just trying to break down this model. So you handle all the more challenging aspects of like hiring the cleaners, vetting the cleaners, getting the cleaners to be able to operate. But you're able to do this also seamlessly because you have those systems already in place. And what you basically do is you have your VAs that you implement with the systems, and then they know exactly how to be able to onboard a property and get it up and running. And, if you have, obviously, just to give a little pre-context, short-term rentals aren't the only asset class that you are managing for. You do this through a wide spectrum of properties, correct?
Correct.
Yeah. So you have different types of systems for how you onboard different properties and manage them. And then what you do though is you have like a hub in the Phoenix area, is it? And then you basically just ship over all of the products that would be replacements for the properties. So that's how you're able to keep the system the same at every single property, is because you have the same products. Because if you were using different products, different types of services, or different products for different properties, it wouldn't be as you wouldn't be able to charge $99 a month, because it'd be a lot of managing, unless you had the systems to be able to track all that info. But that probably gets pretty complicated, I imagine.
Right. So the price per our client per annum, or the income, the value, client value of each one of our clients is around $2,700 a year. It's pretty cheap. Okay. A lot of people they say, well, per month I'm charging 15% on management fees. And then they might also charge additional fees depending on what else needs to be done. But if we keep it at 2,700, that's our minimum. We already know how we can scale. But yeah, we ship everything over to, exactly as you said, we have a compound in downtown Phoenix. We have an inventory checklist. Whenever a cleaner replaces a sheet, it automatically updates our CRM. We know exactly when we need to order more. It's automated. It'll order more. And we just restock and go from there. We actually do our laundry different. We don't do our laundry in the property. All the cleaners, they show up, they strip the beds, they take the towels, they put it in a bag, and they ship it to the laundromat that we've negotiated a rate with. The laundromat does the laundry, and they pick it up from the laundromat later when they need to go back.
I think what's really unique, Andrew, about you is a lot of hosts, a lot of property managers. They try to do everything themselves, and they have to charge more of a premium because they are repeating a lot of the same processes over and over. Like a host that maybe you're trying to help, they're struggling managing cleaners, managing inventory, managing all these things. And then, property manager might come in and then they take over those responsibilities. But they might try to suit that individual person where they're at. So as me being a property manager, I can't always change the systems that somebody else has. So I have to work around them, which requires more time, more energy, more headache. But if I had all of my clients that I manage properties for have the same thing across the board, it'd be very easy to be able to, knock out some of those systems. But where the problem is that you guys have solved is because you have that centralized hub where you can do those amenity replacements, do the linen replacement, and it's same across the board. If you have one property in, California, how much would you realistically be able to charge, or would you even be able to do your business for like a one-off property somewhere else?
Yeah, no, everything remains the same. In the case that, a cleaner walks in and it needs items, we have a reimbursement system. So the cleaner would be given funds, or they would buy the items, and then they'd be reimbursed by submitting receipts and everything else like that. We would send that over to the owner. We cover it. The owner would cover our fee on top of the reimbursement. So we will make a fee on top of whatever replacements need to be done. But it's pretty darn seamless. Even that's what makes, I think, our company great is we can do a one-off in New Mexico. We could do one. Sourcing the cleaners we have a sourcing VA member that can source help. They run through a checklist. We do 2 phone interviews with this individual, and then they're hired. They show proof of work, they show references, and there's a background report done. And once they're kosher, we set them up for one of the properties there, and we rock and roll. We bank that, if we don't make, I will be honest. We had a one-off in a different state. We won't make a profit on that property until month 8 or 9. So that's, hey, we can get creative and ship stuff out there, which wouldn't cost the owner any more money. It would be the same money for a towel. We could do that, but what we hope to do is just probably leverage that marketing that, hey, we're in the area, and see if there's a market for us there. But we won't pass up on any of that. It'll still be worth it.
So for like those properties that are, outside of where your hub is, you're doing the amenity replacements. You said you're shipping all of the amenity replacements from your hub over to where those properties are located, and then just charging a premium for that?
No, so on the one-off stuff that's outside of our state, we'll just have the cleaner go ahead and pick up those items wherever they need to pick it up. They'll send in a reimbursement receipt, and we'll charge a fee on top of that to the owner. So the owner will reimburse us. We'll make sure that the cleaner gets reimbursed, but we'll also make a fee. It's typically 10% of total cost.
Wow. 10% of a $10 towel.
Right. That's exactly it. That's exactly it.
That's crazy. Okay. I understand because, we have properties, like we're setting up new properties in Miami. And, once you reach a certain point, so like, we have about 9 properties down there right now that we're picking up around the same time. So, our goal is to create a hub, because the hub, it saves us time. The cleaners don't have to do the laundry at the properties. They don't have to do all this. So you're able to be more efficient. But when you have those one-off properties, that can be a little bit more challenging. What's the criteria to be able to, because that's the big thing, is like when you're onboarding a property and they have a bunch of different systems or a bunch of different ways on how they manage it, how do you successfully take someone that has different color sheets, different color towels, different locks, different security devices, all this different stuff, and then get them to the point where you're able to streamline the process?
I should just send you the links to our checklists, right, and our onboarding forms.
Yeah,
I think you'd really like to see. Yeah, I'll send those over to you. If you want to share those in the show notes, you definitely can. But we have recommendations. So if you do have different color sheets, for example, we'll say, hey, we say white. There's a reason why. Where there's a printout I got, I'll send it to our clients. There's a reason why hotels use white. Okay, there's a reason why. They can be bleached. It's clean. It looks crisp. It's nice. It's not mysterious. I know exactly what's on the sheet. I can see if there's a hair. I can see if there's a stain. Okay, that's white. We get clients that say, "Oh, we want to be fancy. We want these, beautiful pink chevron." And you know what? If they want that, and that is, they have a unique property. Maybe they have a property where it's called the Pink House, and everything in that property is pink. Everything is pink. That's a very special property. We might have different pricing for something like that. That doesn't really fit our wheelhouse, which we might just say, we're not a good fit because we're very easy. It's everything's vanilla. We're just going to manage a property that's, pretty basic, but there might be something extra for that. But if it's pink sheets and they have to have some sort of colorant every single time we wash them, we'll do it. It's probably going to be in the property. It's going to take us more time to do so. Our cleaners spend around 2 hours in each property. There's 2 people with them. So, it's 1 hour per person, but they're both doing different things. The cleaning checklist is very long. It's very detailed. And then we have an audit. We'll do random audits on cleaners. We'll come around and we have a random audit checklist. Did they do this? Did they do that? And then depending on their score is going to decide how much they're going to be earning on the next cleaning. So they make sure that they do well. After being in this business and making a million mistakes in just workflow. So we used to be really choppy and manual about everything, but now it's just so seamless where, I can look at my CRM and say, who's my best cleaner? Which cleaner actually makes me the most money? And when I say me, I mean my client, because we only charge a flat fee, right? But don't forget, we also have Airbnbs ourselves. So we can see which one actually earns us the most income. I can see which property has the most complaints. And that's all quantified. We have even a form that we send to each of our clients. How was your stay? Be honest. Was it clean? Did you find anything gross? And we want the nitty gritty. I don't think we say it like that, but it's very professional. And we want them to be honest about it. I went on like a million tangents there. Sorry about that.
No, this is really, really golden information. One of the challenges is when you're growing a management company is, being able to work with, identifying who's your target client. Like not everybody is best suited for you. Maybe you just strictly do vacation rentals. Maybe you only strictly do properties in a specific area. But you're saying you only do properties that are able to fit your systems. In the case though that you do have someone that reaches out and they do have that pink house, you're able to modify slightly. Like, is it a big change from how you're already currently operating?
Yeah, we will modify slightly, and if there's opportunity there, maybe there's a marketing opportunity there that could be really cool. We could put a commercial or some sort of video together. Hey, we handle the pink house in Scottsdale. That would be neat. But for the most part, we have a box. It's a very tight box. we use white sheets, white towels. We're very vanilla, very plain. We're very boring. Okay. I shouldn't say boring is the wrong word. We're very consistent, I should say. It's very clean and consistent every single time. You know exactly what to expect from us. When people like to throw in, a lot of newer clients, they'll say, "Hey, we have these crazy towels, we have these crazy sheets, or we want our house presented in this way." Okay. We had a client that wanted, origami towel foldings, and we had to teach our cleaner how to fold it, in a swan or in, some sort of frog, and that's fine. We'll entertain that stuff. There's YouTube videos for that. But no, we're very picky on what our client is. And as far as growing and scaling, I would admonish anybody who's building a short-term rental management company before they think let's get 150, 200 properties under management. Focus on 10 to 20 and say, how can I make these so lean? How can I, bulk order my amenities, bulk order my supplies? How can I seamlessly and set up automations where the owner knows about the cleaning and damage report? Because that's automated. Every time the cleaning report's done, the owner knows about it. They know immediately. They're firsthand. Everybody knows how profitable you are. You know how much you're losing on each property. Dial in the data. Everything should be so dialed in before you start to grow. Because if you don't, you're gonna backpedal when you get up to 50 properties. You can't handle them. You're gonna get terrible service, and everybody's gonna really, they're not gonna recommend your company.
So let's say there is a property that you're in Florida now. Every bathroom has a different color towel in Florida. And all the sheets are different, so you find this property, someone approaches you and it doesn't fit your criteria, but they like that price point. They say, hey, you offer $99 a month, or you offer 10% management, whatever it is, whatever your offer is. How much would it realistically cost you to be able to take a person and get them to where they need to be?
You know what? That's a great question. If I have more than 5 properties in a given area, I'm going to get a laundromat to handle all the laundry. Okay. That's kind of my metric. If I have less than 5, then they're going to do laundry in the house. I'm going to have them send me laundry requirements for their, crazy color towels, or if they have, something unique. And then I'm going to work with my cleaning crew and say, hey, this is a unique property. This is what they want done. It's a little bit different. This is the rate at which we're willing to pay you. Can you go ahead and clean it once? Let's do a review of your cleaning. Let me know how it was. And every cleaning that they do, they snap photos. So in the checklist, they have to submit photos of the living room, bathroom, floor. They have to submit photos of the landscape, everything. Everything has to be, photographed. And when they submit it, we'll get on the phone with them and we'll review, how was it? What's your feedback? How did you feel? They're going to tell me right off the bat, I hate that there's 20 different color towels in this bathroom, or in all 4 bathrooms of this house. It was really annoying. Or the laundry took too long, or, the floor is so weird. It's it never is clean. It's some dark wood, for example, dark wood flooring, you can never keep it clean. You can sweep and mop, but one piece of lint falls on it, it looks dirty. So there's there's subtleties inside of each property that can make it really wonky and weird. But we'll make sure it's profitable for the owner and for us as well. Typically our cleaners, we're going to contract them for 1 to 3 properties. They won't do any more than 2 properties a day, but they will be attached to that property. There will be no other cleaner that cleans that property, just that one. I want that cleaner to be a master of that property, and they'll be in pairs of 2, and they'll go to the property, they'll clean it really well. But yeah, if there's any feedback that I get from them, they're the boss in the end. The cleaners are the boss. Well, the guests are the boss, but the cleaners are gonna be the gatekeeper of our success. So,
but for, let's say, the property, so you're saying if they do have all those different types, you're willing to work around that, but you're going to charge a little bit more of a premium to be able to work with people that have different types of properties?
Yeah. There's a wider range of strange property. There's a guy that wanted us to handle a treehouse property, and we could definitely do stuff like that. It doesn't fit our wheelhouse, but I will attempt it. I will attack it. The question is it going to be worth my time in doing that research And liability wise, is someone going to fall? Is someone going to get hurt? Having business insurance, it's important, but at the same time, like, do I want to put someone in danger? But it's more of a, how much, I guess the question is, how much time do we need to invest in this property, and what kind of return is it going to bring us as a company? Because really, if at a flat rate of $99 a month, we want condos. We want 1-bedroom condos. We want 2-bedroom, 2-bath. If we have a large home, which we do, we have large homes in Scottsdale, Arizona. These are luxury properties. We know exactly how to tackle those. That took a little bit of seasoning, though. I mean, you can't just find any cleaning crew. We're very detail oriented. That's why we have the checklists. What we'll do is we'll work with owners. We'll say, hey, you have a very unique property. For example, in my head, it's something that I want to build, and this is kind of weird, but I want to build something called the Apple House. I want to build a house in the shape of an apple. I really do believe in Airbnb or any short-term rental platform, you're selling an experience. You're not selling a house, right? You're not selling a night to stay. You're selling an experience. So I want to build this house. It's going to look like an apple. Maybe inside there's going to be a lot of Apple products, like an Apple TV or an Apple iPad. And then you open up the Apple fridge and it's got applesauce and apple cider, right? It's just like this Apple experience. Cool. So something like that. If someone came to me and say, hey, I got this Apple house, I need you to maintain it. Yeah, there's going to be a premium involved. Definitely there's going to be a premium involved, because it doesn't fit our wheelhouse. So we'll do it. We'll take it on. But there's going to be additional training for it. I don't know how to maintain an Apple house. Like, I don't know, like, do we need to, if someone's using computers or electronics inside, do we need to clear the data? Like, there's extra stuff that happen. And in our checklist, we have that for the owner to fill out. Are there extra additional items that we need to know about? And then we'll do a preliminary walkthrough, and then we'll take notes, and then we'll come back and say, hey, you know what? It's going to actually cost X. That never happens, though, because everybody wants their normal house, managed. So we'll probably run into it here soon. But as of yet, that's what we have.
With, the automation process probably starts with the onboarding of the client. What does that process look like for onboarding a client for you? Are you, is it like, you have like a form that gets filled out, then it goes to a VA, and then the VA sends an email, and then that person, what can you kind of walk through, like how you've created your system?
Yeah, there's no human involved in all the onboarding.
Wow.
In fact, there's only one phone call that's involved. So you'll go to buymoretime.com, you'll click on the short-term rental tab, you'll enter all your info, you'll get started, you'll pay the setup fee, you'll enter all of your data for your listings, and then from there you'll get an automatic email saying, hey, here's a form, please fill it out, we're ready to rock and roll. We assume that you already have a property set up. If you don't, then that could pivot into a different direction. We could probably get on the phone with you and say, hey, we're actually looking for people that already have this set up and ready to go. That's why on the checkout page, there's listings where you can submit your listings. If you're like, you know what, I'm just kind of browsing, I want to buy your services right now, we're probably not going to work with you. But let's assume that you have an Airbnb. Okay. So you fill out the checklist for the onboarding checklist. You're not going to get any human involvement for a couple of emails. So you're going to get another email back explaining what you can expect from us. Then you're going to get a phone call that you schedule. So you schedule a phone call with one of our members. You're going to hop on the phone and you're going to talk about the property. They're going to take notes. What are the oddities of the property? What does access look like? What's check-in look like? Do you have any cameras? What kind of camera service do you have set up? What kind of short-term rental platforms do you have going on? We'll review most of what that onboarding platform or onboarding form was already that they submitted. We'll review that. And then from there, we will schedule a preliminary walkthrough. So the next step is walkthrough. So we'll do a walkthrough, and let's say it's nothing like they said. And that happens sometimes. It's absolutely nothing. It's in no condition. It's not ready to go. Then we'll give that feedback. They can come back to us later. Assuming that it's ready to go and everything's good, we are going to move on to syndication. If they already have it up on all the platforms, then we're good to go. We're just going to migrate their info into one of our software that we use. And then from there, we'll go ahead and start services. If they need photography, we'll order photography. If we don't like their photography, we'll order photography. Most of the time, we don't like their photography. Photography is top dog. It's number one. It needs to be spotless. It needs to be incredible. and highly edited. No, I'm kidding. It needs to be very bright, it needs to be airy, and you need to sell an experience. That actually takes art. That takes one of our, and that's another team member I didn't mention before. We leverage a guy named Andrew. My name's Andrew, but another guy named Andrew. And he knows exactly what people are looking for. They want to be led into the house. And that's how the picture 1 to picture 500 needs to look like. So, and then from there we syndicate, we set up services, and from there we rock and roll.
One of the things that really kind of stood out is it sounds like you're really trying to get the property up and running. And for, for $99 a month, you would think it would just be bare bones. Like, you give me this and then I'll just work with it, and whatever you have in the property or however you operate, that's just kind of what it is. But from what you're telling me is like, you'll try to help them to, take better photos. You'll work with them to try to, get the best return on their property. What incentive do you have to really maximize the return for a person that, is just, looking to pay $99 a month? What's in that for you?
Right. Well, we want longevity. So, and I'll just tell you right now, we'll be very transparent you can still hear me pretty well, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, just to give a little pre-context, Andrew's daughter really wanted his attention. Was it your daughter, correct?
Yeah, that was my little baby girl. I got 3 kids. I got a 6-year-old, a 4-year-old, and a 1-year-old. So, so what we want to do is we want to build a system of extremely satisfied owners in which we manage their properties for an incredible rate. And we want longevity. We would love to have these clients for a long, long time. And the reason why we believe that is because of the $99 fee. I mean, it's not going to break someone to pay that. And once they see our automation, they'll be blown away. There's no reason to go anywhere else. They feel like they're satisfied with the services that we are providing. A lot of our clients, they actually like to be hands-on. You probably have guests on the show that you've had before, or you'll have clients yourself that they want to be hands-on and they want to interfere, and that we support that. We say, you want to jump in, please. You have an account representative with us. One of our guys, his name is Jeriel, and he'll work with you one-on-one. If you want to tag team messaging, if they like messaging, then we'll go ahead and let it happen. We need to know it beforehand. But the reason why we have it priced and set up this way is because we're looking for longevity. We want to build just an awesome an awesome database of people who absolutely love the services that we provide.
Hey, this is Julian, and I wanted to be able to give you our newest book, Airbnb Secrets Revealed, How to Build a Fortune on Airbnb Without Owning Property. In this book, we talk about the concepts of rental arbitrage investing, as well as co-hosting, and how you can build a business leveraging other people's properties. This book is perfect for the new short-term rental investor, and it's something that I wish that I had when I first started, as it would have saved me a lot of trouble and helped me to understand how to be able to leverage the power of short-term rental investing in your own real estate portfolio. If you'd like to get our newest book completely for free, go to shorttermsage.com/free book. Now, back to the show. Do you said that there's a setup fee. What is the setup fee? What was the reason for putting the setup fee? Like, how much are you charging, and what's kind of your break even point? Is that setup fee used to be able to get you closer towards like break even for how much time is invested with getting the property up and running?
Yeah, there's definitely man hours involved, right? It's a $199 setup fee. If you sign up, I have a countdown. It's really just a online funnel. It's a countdown of 3 minutes. If you check the box, we'll waive your first month, so you don't have to pay the $99 for the first month. But the $199 setup fee is so that we can hop on the phone with you. We can analyze your property. We can check your market. We leverage AirDNA to see what properties are doing in your area. We don't handle pricing, but we'll still look at comparable properties in your area to see, if you're definitely reasonable. I had a client where they wanted, a ridiculous amount per night, $280 a night, but everybody else around them was charging 60, 70. And I'm like, we don't do pricing, but I will say you definitely need to look at your market. Probably use like a price automation tool like Price Labs, and you're going to be in much better shape. But yeah, the $199 setup fee is definitely man hours involved, analysis of your property, the walkthrough. It pays for the walkthrough, but we charge that so that we can make sure that your property is in good order before we take it on. If we're not a good fit, there's a full refund. If we find out that it's definitely not going to work out, full refund. If you don't like our services, full refund, no questions asked.
But now I'm scratching my head thinking $199 for, to onboard a client and take them through that process. I mean, it's lengthy, it's time consuming. I mean, obviously you've got a lot of, most of that streamlined, but like even like going and visually verifying the property. I mean, I take it you're not going to the property yourself. Are you like having a person go there on your behalf and then doing that?
If it's local, it's going to be a cleaner. Or it's going to be one of our maintenance guys. If it's out of state, we have a 1 to 2 week turnaround time. So if you make an order within 2 weeks, everything should be up and running. But that gives us 2 weeks to source and qualify someone to not only clean, but also walk through the property, validate it, make sure it has everything it needs. Property walkthrough is important because that's going to be everything that you're going to offer your guests, the experience. And typically it's going to be a cleaner, someone who's going to clean it, someone who's going to maintain it, someone who's going to be judged on how well they keep the place. So they're going to do their best to ensure the place is equipped.
All right. So thank you for being so transparent. And then the next step, let's say the check-in process, different. Do you require all properties to have like smart locks that you can automatically, give door access codes and all that? Or do you work with properties that have like, keys or lock boxes, or they have to go to the garage and it's underneath the turtle? Like how do you handle?
We literally will do all of that for the client the way the client wants it. We highly recommend Smart Lock. We love Smart Lock. We love how the combination will change automatically, synced with these platforms every single time. That's fantastic. There are glitches in that software though, and they have disrupted our operations, and it's caused a little bit of an annoyance. We like mechanical lock boxes. We also like just the Schlage keypad entry. Okay, that will manually change over time. We'll change it monthly. We recommend it. Some of our clients don't really want that done. They have friends and family come in to enjoy the property. So I'm going to move in here. But they don't want that done 100% of the time. So we won't change it all the time, but most of the time we will. But what we do is we just have a ton of recommendations, right? And the recommendations are really going to help them streamline their whole operation. They're going to realize working with us that, wow, they don't have to do as much, and then if they just keep fighting us on everything that we recommend, we might just let them know, hey, we have a way that we do it. We know it works. This is our ratings. This is how well we do. So you could take our suggestions. If not, we're probably just going to move on. It's just not a good fit, but we really do try to work with everybody. Like check-in instructions can be as crazy as hide the key under the turtle, as you said. That's not very safe. Again, we will recommend, but we'll just let them know up front, hey, that could cause an issue. And we'll have that, written somewhere, in an email. There will be, some sort of email correspondence. Everybody's got a file. Everything's locked inside of our CRM. So we know.
How do you protect yourself with that? Because are you assuming like, or do you have to get like a specific, because as a property manager, if something happens at the property and, the client says, hey, it wasn't me, it was Andrew and his team, like buy more time, guys. The guest ends up trashing the place and they let somebody bad in. How do you handle that liability?
Yeah. So we have an indemnification form. So when you sign up for us, you indemnify us, meaning you hold us harmless for any mishap that could happen as well. Our attorneys and our insurance that we use that for our business insurance, recommends that we have some sort of indemnification to that. Nothing is airtight. You can go to court for really anything in this world. For pools, for any property with a pool, we have an indemnification form that we make the guest sign every single time they show up, no matter what. If they show up at a pool here in Arizona, everybody's got a pool, right? But if they show up and the guest says, I don't want to sign the indemnification form, then we reserve the right to, reject them to stay in the property. We could leverage what do they got? The $1 million policy on a lot of these short-term rental platforms. I think I don't feel comfortable leveraging these large, huge platform commercial policies just because time frame, it's going to take forever. Plus you're fighting them. Okay. If it's for petty, stupid things like, I don't know, like a hole in the drywall. Like if someone punches a hole, that's easy stuff. I get a contractor that's licensed with the license number, gives me, the invoice. We send it over to Airbnb or VRBO. We're very fast at that, by the way, too. We get that done in the first 3 hours. So we're extremely fast. But as far as indemnification, we make sure that they indemnify us, 100% of any mishaps. If you hide a key under the turtle and the neighbor was watching you out of the window, they know exactly where the key's at. They're going to go in, they're going to have a party, have a rager, and then suddenly everybody's mad at us. But in the end, we recommended that you have a keypad. So
now you have this property, you've indemnified yourself, but also finding that cleaner. I mean, what do you have some type of magic bag that you're pulling out all these cleaners that are able to operate? Like that's probably one of the biggest struggles that we often hear in the short-term rental spaces, finding reliable cleaners, finding people that can go to the property, finding people that can, do all the other jobs that, a regular residential cleaner is not able to do, or they don't know how to do. How do you find these types of people?
Well, first of all, it's a cleaning and presentation specialist. This is not just a cleaner. This is someone who's going to also present the property well. Remember, we're selling an experience, so I don't expect you just to clean. You need to present. We also pay our cleaners very well. Okay, we on a property where you got a 1-bedroom, 1-bath condo, a lot of times cleaners are getting paid $90. We'll pay $120. Okay, we want these cleaners to be very good at what they do. We want them to spend the time. We also don't overbook them. We give them 2 per day. That's the max. They don't get 3, they don't get 4, they get 2 per day if they're going to do multiple properties. As far as finding them, yes, there is an art to that. There's a trick to that. There's a lot of tricks to that. We leverage a couple different sites. I like Facebook. Okay, we leverage Facebook. There's a lot of groups in Facebook that work very well in finding these people, but it's mostly just attracting them via an online sales funnel, getting them inside of a checklist or some sort of form, capturing their information, and then setting them up on the process, onboarding a cleaner. We have an cleaner onboarding process, right? We need to make sure that they have experience. We need to make sure that they have their own equipment. If they say, well, I want you to provide me a mop, a broom, this, that, we're not going to do that. We recommend certain cleaning types. They need to work with our recommendations. There's some cleaning chemicals we don't want. And when they start, they have to shadow 2 different people. So they have to shadow 2 different people that we already have on our team. They can't just start. They have to shadow. So once they shadow twice, so there's 2 shadowings. Once they shadow twice, then they clean for the first time, which is audited on the first time every time. So they shadow twice. They see exactly what these other cleaners are doing. Then they go clean on their first attempt. We have them clean no later than checkout. So if checkout's at 10 a.m., we're sharp at that. It's got to be 10 a.m. checkout. They go in, they clean. There's an immediate audit afterwards. In fact, a lot of times we'll catch them while they're still there. We'll start auditing. Sometimes, most of the time it's after they leave. But we'll tell them, look, we're going to audit you on the first time. If you need to come back, we got to have you come back. Okay. We need to start good habits now. You made the beds, but you forgot a flat sheet. You forgot to unload the dishwasher. You forgot this, or you just didn't do this. So immediately they already know the expectation. Setting expectations on day one is so important. Look, we're going to bring you back. You need to come back. You need to fix this, fix that, fix this. And forevermore, it can't be that way. If it was a terrible audit, like it was bad, we'll probably give them one more try, but there's a required audit on that. So they get one more try. Okay. And if they do it again and we audit them again, it was really bad, we won't work with them again. They'll get paid, but we won't work with them again. They won't be paid the full amount. They'll be paid probably 80%, but they'll already know that they didn't do everything on the checklist, yet they check next, so you can't do that. It is a grind. It is a process. For sure, it's a process. You have to find the right people. You have to interview the right people. So that's our process for onboarding our cleaners.
for that because you're not physically there. Sometimes you said that you do the audits, but like that's one of the things. It's like you're depending on this turnover specialist to be able to handle the property. So for that part of that verification, are you using like is that Breezeway? Are you using like Breezeway to be able to do that like all in real time, or like how do you verify things in real time?
So verify like their actual cleaning, or
Right. So like if they're not doing like the beds the right way, or if they're not emptying the dishwasher the right way, like what type of tool would even what type of tool are you using to be able to do that?
So we leverage Zapier, and we have an audit specialist that'll be notified 2 days prior of an audit of when the cleaning should be done. So if checkout's at 10, cleaners should get there around 10:15, 10:30ish. They should spend no more than 2 hours there. So the audit specialist will have a Google reminder set up that 2 hours after checkout, they need to show up to the property. So they'll be there. A lot of times we don't really want them. We don't really like to audit someone while they're there. And the reason why is because it's not really, I mean, we don't know how you're going to work without someone watching you. Or how about this? How do I say this? Your true character is when someone is how you behave when someone's not watching you. So we'll do it after they leave, and we'll check the property top to bottom. What's Breezeway? That sounds interesting.
Breezeway. It's a task management software. So
Okay.
yeah.
Okay, no, we use Airtable.
Use Airtable. So you use it's like a souped up Excel, kind of like an Excel type of document. Okay.
It's base level, but we jack it up with Zapier.
Okay.
Like it is. Go ahead.
For the people that are for the people that aren't listening to this, when you're in the funnel, automation world, you start, you hear about these different tools like Zapier. What's Zapier? For those of you that are listening, could you kind of maybe explain what Zapier is and like, how you're using it?
Sure. So there's two different types of automation workflow tools, Integromat and Zapier. We love both of them. We use majority Zapier. So Zapier will help link two different applications together. So you could set up an automation like when someone fills out a form, I want, if someone fills out a form, then an email will be sent to that person saying, hi, thanks for filling out the form. We appreciate it. Here's the next step. So Zapier is a workflow automation tool. So if you say, hey, I want after someone checks in via smart lock, okay, so if someone checks in smart lock, I want an automatic message to be sent to the guest, welcoming them, letting them know about the neighborhood and the area and fun things to do. Okay, so you could do that. By the way, smart lock is integratable with Zapier. You can 100% automate your whole business with it. For what Zapier can't do, Integromat can do. And what Zapier and Integromat cannot do, you need a PHP, JavaScript developer, and probably just some of your basic WordPress sites. So they could do, there's so many things you can do. I mean, you can get so granular. Another tool that a lot of people love to use, I don't like to use it because it's expensive. I build my own, but that is Keep, which was Infusionsoft. So with Infusionsoft or Keep, you can actually do your sales funnels. You can do your marketing. You can also do your management. You can do everything in there. So it really depends on what you want to use.
That's really interesting because like I use, and now we're starting to get more towards the client onboarding, but like I use like ActiveCampaign, and ActiveCampaign has their deals and their automations, and then I integrate that with Zapier. So but you use these tools because like Breezeway, for example, like in the property management space, a lot of property managers use Breezeway, a lot of larger ones, because it's got, it's just a more clean, polished way. It's like, while the turnover specialists are at the properties and they're taking photos, you could have a VA that is manually, checking, like, as they're uploading the photos and going through their checklist. It's like someone can verify it as it is, but you're using these different tools, which probably saves you a lot more money than one of these other products. And it's just going to a VA that's manually verifying are the pictures, like as they're uploading it, being like sent to Slack or something, and then the person's like,
get this, if there is damage, and this is all conditional logic, when you do build out these automations, it's all based on conditional logic. So our checklist says, is there damage? Yes or no? Yes. Okay, there is damage. Great. Post the photos of the damage, put notes of the damage in this box here. Okay. So if there is damage, it's going to be automatically sent to one of our damage specialists. All right. So that's on the condition of if someone fills out or checks, yes, there's damage, then there will be a damage report sent to both the guest and also to Airbnb, VRBO, or whatever platform they were on.
Wow.
Okay. So it's conditional. If there was no damage, that damage specialist won't get an email. Will not get anything in their Airtable signifying that they have something to do, a new task. So it's a built out CRM. And that's how we can operate on $99 a month. There's no way if we paid like millions of dollars and all these software, I mean, we pay the premium Zapier function, but that saves us thousands of hours a week. We pay the premium Airtable. It's pretty much it. And then we pay our staff that know how to automate Airtable or know how to automate software or build sites. So
Andrew, you are blowing my mind right now. The people that are watching, I mean, you've literally taken, there's all these, very polished, nice tools, and they're tools that are that a lot of property managers use. And you've basically taken that whole process and are just basically bootstrapping that from, these much more cheaper tools that are online. You said you're using Zapier Airtable, which is basically just connecting different softwares or tools and a souped up Excel sheet, and you're able to operate this business. That's really interesting.
That's exactly right. It's bootstrapped, exactly what you said. Now here's the problem with my setup, and I'll tell you, this is the biggest. This could be my Achilles tendon. When we grow large enough, we amass 100, 150, 200 to 500. I'll be working with a Salesforce CRM executive, and I'll say, look, and they've told me they can do this. They can literally take the code of all my CRM that I'm using inside of Airtable, and they can recreate it inside of Salesforce. Now, Salesforce is very expensive. So it's probably one of the more expensive CRMs out there. With the hundreds of thousands of automations that are happening every week, it wouldn't make any sense to go to Salesforce because I'd be paying out the rear end. There's no way. But when I grow to that level, I'm literally going to work on a software migration into something more robust like Salesforce, because I really don't see, and maybe I could be totally wrong. I don't see me operating on a 500 unit plus level on Airtable and Zapier. I could be wrong. I could be way wrong. Maybe that's an actual possibility. Maybe it's even cost effective. But for every, I think, 1,000 or 10,000 zaps, there is a glitch. And it's really, that part frustrates me to no end. I actually have an automation based on the glitch. If a glitch happens, we're going to know about it. We know how to fix it manually quickly. I'm trying to automate that part. But if you put a computer to work, you can charge less, but you'll profit more. Okay, that's crazy. That's crazy talk with what I just said. Think about that. If you put a computer to work, you could charge less, but you'll profit more because you'll have more volume. And that's what these large tech companies are doing. They're blowing everybody out of the water. Now, I will say, I want to mention this. This is really important. Hear me out. This is probably one of the most important pieces to take away of this whole interview. This has got to be the most important piece. It doesn't matter what you charge. It doesn't even matter. I could charge 40% and still have clients. I got a client who doesn't care. Like, obviously it needs to be reasonable. They still need a profit, but if the client is in love with your services and you do such a good job, you do very well and you appease them, it doesn't matter. I could be charging 20%. A lot of people say you're charging way too little. I'm like, okay, I'm having fun and I'm staying small and we're slowly growing as we go. But what you charge doesn't matter. What matters is what service are you providing for your client? Are they happy? Are they happy with what they see? And if that's the case, there's no reason to change. You can continue charging 50% of profits, gross profits every month, whatever. So,
I mean, what's your spread look like? I mean, $99, like you said, you could very reason. I mean, you could charge probably 5%, just 5%, and you blow everybody else out of the water. I think Evolve, why everybody loves Evolve so much is because they say, hey, we're 10%, which, in the property manager world, most property managers are charging 20%, 15%. There's companies like Evolve that are saying, we do it for 10%. Obviously, people have their opinions about Evolve, but $99, I mean, you could charge a percent, probably just a few percentage, and you'd be able to. So I guess the big reason is like, why would you do that? And then what's your spread on that 99? Like, is it like 30 bucks a month that you're able to keep, or like how, like where's the profit in that? Where's the
We have a
profit in that?
20% minimum profit desire. So our profit margin needs to be 20% minimum. So minimum. We can always raise our prices later. That's fine. Our focus is on different verticals, like product placement, right? It's going to be on upsells. We want to add new features to our property management company. We want to add, for example, monitoring, surveillance monitoring, working with a couple different, these would be in-house surveillance camera companies where we can send them, buy more time, our company labeled cameras to their property, ship it, and they could be paying a surveillance fee to us, right? We can survey their property. We can be watching their property all the time. We can send reports. We can automate reports. This is so cool. You can automate reports and send them, hey, here's how many people came into the house. Here's how many people that they paid for. There's a discrepancy here. We need to set that up. We've already set up a claim, blah, 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 or, approve this, or, hey, there was a grizzly bear that walked past your property in Canada, whatever. You could do such cool things with it, different verticals. The reason why we chose 99 is because we don't want the owner to think. You don't ever want a client to think about it. A lot of times companies, large Fortune 500 companies, they'll put 20%, for example, or they'll put a figure right next to it, or X, so that makes someone not think. No one wants to think how much they're paying. Okay. Oh, 20%. Well, how much am I going to earn this month? I'm going to earn, $1,000. That means I got to pay, what is that? $200. Okay. I don't want you to think about it. I want to say $99. That's what I'm charging you. Okay. If you don't think about it, then I can worry about other verticals. I can worry about product placement. That's okay. Because in the client's head, they're paying 99. Well, we had to replace a towel. We're also creating amazing service. You don't want a towel with holes in it or with makeup stains all over it. That's the worst. Everybody's wiping their face with, the white towels. Why are you doing that? Well, first of all, you got to send an automatic message to our guests with reminders. Please don't wipe your makeup face on these towels. Okay. But in the event that happens, we're going to replace it for you. We're making a buck on that. Okay. We got really sneaky tax wise as well, where we won't charge sales tax when we replace a product because we call it a product replacement service instead of actually selling a product. If you sell a product, you have to charge sales tax. So we got sneaky there. It's 100% legal. We were working with our CPA and he said, yeah, you could do that. So that's why we keep it 99, because we want it to be just in your face. This is what you're getting. We're also not going to bend our back for you. If you want like the pink house, right? You want this immense, crazy presentation. You want us to order a mariachi band to play for you at the front door, right? Probably not going to do that. We're a hotel service. We're a hospitality service. So we're going to do what we do best.
Wow, Andrew, I could probably keep on talking to you for probably hours and hours. I got to fly out and just pick your brain one of these days. But no, this is really interesting because I think you're probably one of the first guests that is really coming from more of a lot of people in this space are very that do well are very process system IT focused. So were you like the system automation guy for the most part until you eventually hired somebody?
Yeah, I am. And I actually really enjoy it. I love saying, oh, we just saved ourselves, 4,000 hours this year. Instead of sending a manual email, we don't do that anymore. We have a machine do it for us. But yes, I love to link apps. I love technology. I do slight CSS coding. It's not crazy, but I do have an enthusiasm for it. And I think that's what gives us an upper edge.
So do you think, all these hosts, all these people out here that, are, I guess from a property manager standpoint, because there's property managers that listen to the show, a lot of property managers, but there's also people that are trying to save money by maybe not hiring a property manager. They want to do it themselves. How much time or how much money would a property manager be able to save, by learning the systems, the automations, those processes? How much time and money would a property manager save if I'm charging a percentage based? And then for someone that's trying to do it themselves, how much could they potentially save by, just having the right tools and maybe not outsourcing it to somebody?
Thousands of dollars a month. thousands of dollars a month. And I would say if you have a budget, take $10,000 right now. If you have this budget, take $10,000 and allocate it towards operation and marketing. Say 7,000 is going to go to operations. I'm going to hire someone from upwork.com or fiverr.com. I'm really going to vet these individuals, and they're going to help me link and automate most of my operations so I don't have to hire a property manager. You also need to just grind. You need to understand when to hire a plumber, when to hire an electrician. You just got to know that stuff. If someone reports something, you got to know. I mean, we have a software that we use called Tenant Cloud, and we pay people through Tenant Cloud. And Tenant Cloud has service pros. These service pros are plumbers, electricians, handymen, carpentry, trim. Anybody that we need for these properties, they're immediately notified through email by a click of a button. We don't have to type it. We just click the button. This is copy paste. This is what they need. Please get it done. And you know what? You ask a great question. You can't do it alone. None of this stuff I do alone. Like there's no way. If you do it alone, you're going to be limited and you're going to stay small. If you like that, which I think most people do, they don't want to be huge. And that's totally fine. There's people up in the mountain towns, of Arizona or Colorado or, Wyoming. They just love, mom and pop, a little management company. They'll take on 20 and that's all they need, But those that want to grow and scale, you have to outsource. And you have to decide, am I going to take an equity position and get help? Or am I going to just do this all myself? That's a big decision you have to make. But I say give it up so you can get your life back, because we didn't get into this to lose our time freedom, right? And once you do that, everything's free flowing. You're going to be probably making a whole lot more at that point.
How much time, or how much do you think that a normal person that's looking and maybe listening to this and they say, hey, I've got a property, but I don't want to hire a property manager. I want to do it myself. Maybe they're a little bit too cheap. They don't even want to spend $99 a month. So they want to try to figure this stuff out themselves. I mean, what's the learning curve look like to be able to get to where your business is able to operate, just operation, if they're not planning on scaling, managing other people's properties, but just like the operations, is it a super large learning curve, or do they have to hire somebody or use a service like you?
So basic operations, 3 to 6 months, depending on how competent they are. So if they're a busy operator, meaning if they're in like a touristy area, like let's say San Diego, California, where you always have guests coming in, it's going to take you 3 to 6 months to nail this down. That's my opinion, because you're going to get weird things coming in. Like, what if you get bed bugs in your house? Like, how do you handle bed bugs? That's a huge issue. We've had that. What do? We got to call an exterminator. Well, to do that, you have to shut down the property. You have to turn it off. They got to do a heat treatment. They got to get it out. There's so many different issues. There's so many nuances with this. So 3 to 6 months for basic operation. With that, furnishing is going to be $10,000 if you want to get started today. That's a good average for a 1,500 square foot home, 10 grand. For just, you're going to hire an exterminator someday. You're going to pay some handyman to fix something. You need to have a purse, I say, of 30% of your total gross locked away for CapEx or capital expenditures. So I say keep a 30% purse of capital expenditures ready to go, and pray, because you're going to be learning a lot, study, but you need to be in love with it. You need to really enjoy it. If you don't enjoy it, get rid of it or find someone else to handle it. You should only be doing what you love to do.
Just to kind of, wrapping this up, because I've taken up your time, but let's say, with everything that's been going on with COVID, let's say people, they, short-term rentals, they don't think that they can profit anymore, so they switch over to long-term. Are you, because of the system that you have in place, you're still able to keep those same clients from short to long?
Yeah. So with our fees being so low, on the months that are heavy months, and it really depends on your market. Like, for example, San Diego's all year round, right? For Phoenix, Arizona, it's very seasonal. So you're going to kill it in the spring with all, the LA Angels coming to play, the Dodgers coming to play. You got a lot of these big teams coming to play here, or do spring training here. Chicago Cubs come here to play. So you got all these people coming in, paying big money for the Waste Management Open, and then parts of summer. But after that, it dies. It really dies. With our services, only charge $99 a month, but you got some people making 10 to 15 grand a month on fees or on income, gross income. They're happy. That is going to offset the months that they're slow, right? So they're gonna say, great, I made like 10 to 12,000 bucks for 3 months straight. I could make zero for the rest of the year and totally be fine, and not have a tenant beat up my house. You know what I mean? So it makes tons of sense in that regard as a return. Now there are some clients that say, "Oh no, it's November, we haven't made a dime," but you remind them, you made $12,000-13,000 in March or April, and that, like we said, your investment this year is still much better than having a normal tenant. Although some clients just want that consistency. Maybe they don't know how to spend the money, but they want that residual income every month.
But what I'm saying is, like, are you able to convert a short-term rental and then handle the operations of a long-term, or does that fall into where you need a license and now you're going to be, it's going to be a little bit different?
Well, I am licensed. We're licensed here. So we're under a brokerage that's licensed that can handle and does handle long-term rentals. So we have converted short-term rental to long-term. A lot of them stay short-term. It's real simple. We just put up a furnished rental for long-term. We actually get more. We make more on a long-term tenant with a furnished rental inside. We have them sign an agreement that says, look, we're not in charge of any of the items inside. You break it, you buy it. Here's the prices. Okay. So it's actually still a very profitable business. Converting those to long-term tenants, we'll do 6 months to a year leases. And then we'll turn it back into a short-term rental. We'll go in, swap out furniture, make changes that we need to make. But yeah.
And then your clients stick with you because it's like they could be outsourcing this to a property manager. And again, traditional residential property manager is probably going to charge, 10, 15, 20%, but you're still keeping that $99 a month.
Well, actually, we do have a different model. So we'll charge 8% on just your normal tenancy. So just a normal long-term tenant, we'll charge 8%. And we actually use a different software. We use Propertyware, or we'll use Tenant Cloud as well to manage. And those are big boy CRMs, like Buildium, Propertyware. These are large multifamily stuff. We're also buyers and investors ourselves. So we'll probably throw them inside of these softwares that we use ourselves. But no, the model does change. It does change. We'll change it to an 8% instead of a $99 flat fee. If they bug and they say, hey, you know what, it was cheaper, only $99, that we'll work with them. It's less work on a long-term rental anyway. We don't have to be bothered or anything like that. But we're very flexible. We'll work with our clients. We're very open. We disclose everything, but we are licensed, and we'll do what is best for the property and its investment.
And how are you guys handling, because you depend on a lot of these automations? When like a platform like Airbnb comes out with their new off-platform policy changes, how does that affect your systems?
You know what? We've had that before. We just have to adjust. We have to pivot. Some things we'll have to just do manually. That's why we have a developer on board. We actually have a developer for our CRM and a developer for our site. So he can create really cool workflows and automations as well. So we have a couple clients that have their direct booking sites as well, and those are wonky. I don't like Wix. I don't like all these other, I prefer WordPress, or just built from the ground up. Those are very expensive, but those are great. So, we'll work with them, I guess is my answer.
And last question, just what would you do differently if you had to start from scratch?
Holy smokes. Get as much help as I could. Invest in help. Invest in smart people. If I could start over from scratch, I would call someone, maybe like myself today. I would try to find someone who's in it. Like I'd call Julian Sage. I'd say, hey, I have this idea. I want to build a very niche model inside of the STR business. This is what I want to do. What's your thoughts? I'd pay you the check. Julian, you deserve it. You definitely have an audience. You've been in this. You're awesome. Whatever that check's worth, it's going to go much further. It's much more worth it paying you something than going through the pains of building something that was wrong from the beginning. If you build a house with a terrible foundation, it's going to fall over. So get a mentor. Get someone who's already doing what you want to do. Maybe you have a different vertical or a different niche, but still find someone that's already doing it and maybe create an offshoot of that. But pitch your idea. Don't be afraid. Don't make them sign an NDA. Like say, hey, this is what I want to do. I'm very transparent. What's your thoughts on that? And then outsource. Find a partner. Find someone who's if you suck in automation, get someone who's great in automation. Get someone who's fantastic in automation. give them equity in the company. Maybe don't give them equity. Maybe say, hey, I'm going to create a payback plan. For every property that I pick up, you're going to get paid first on a waterfall loan repayment. Okay. I do creative deals all the time, business wise, and with purchases. But Steve Jobs started in the basement or in the garage with Wozniak. So it's like he wasn't good at computers, so Wozniak was. And just like you, anybody can get into this business. You must love it. There will be times you hate it, absolutely hate it. You want to go away and say this is over. But I have an exit strategy in my mind. Everyone needs an exit strategy. You must think, am I going to sell the business? Am I going to maybe give up equity in this business to someone else? Am I going to hire a CEO and step away? You need to have some sort of exit strategy. If you don't, you won't have the stamina to stick with it and stay in it. So,
Andrew, I just want to thank you so much. This was just super interesting conversation. Every time that I talk to a new person on the show that comes in with a different, because honestly, when I first heard about this model, Andrew, I thought this was going to be like some really like dirty $99 a month cheap, like what the heck are you selling here? But no, but I understand because of the tools that you're using, the automations, that experience is what you're shooting for, but you've just been able to really take property management down to its core fundamentals, which is really just a process, a funnel, a system, and you've been able to outsource that at a very affordable price because you're utilizing tools, you put the time in, you have the knowledge, instead of just paying a premium for a tool like Guesty. You've basically taken like a tool like Guesty, which does everything across the board, and you've broken that down to probably what Guesty's been using themselves. Unless they, probably have some developers that have paid.
I would hope not. I'd hope they completely bootstrap their own stuff, PHP, and built it out in their own code.
But yeah, I'm sure that they probably started the same way as you are right now. So that's really exciting to see where you're going to take this. We'd love to maybe have you on in a future episode because we didn't even really get into hiring those people like VAs and what that whole process is like. So we'd love to be able to have you on maybe in a future episode.
Awesome. Would love to have it. Thank you so much, Julian.
All right. Well, what's the best way for someone to be able to reach Andrew if they have any other questions?
Just email me, andrew@buymoretime.com. Just like it sounds, BUYMORETIME.com. Andrew@buymoretime.com. You can also text or call me at 480-980-9022 or just message me on Facebook.
It's dangerous, Andrew. Our listeners are aggressive. They're going to pick your brain more than I did. But awesome. Well, of course, I'm going to include everything, all the links and everything in the show notes. And until next time, Host Nation, keep on hosting. Hope you hosts benefited from the show. If you found value, please go on over to iTunes, leave us a review, and let us know what you enjoy about the show. If you'd like to talk to hosts that have been featured in these episodes as well as the community, go on over to our Facebook group, The Host Nation.